Hey guys, it's Angel and I'm a 90s grunge holographic zombie, and no, I am not drunk. It's just a new trend and all the cool kids are doing it. For this mani, I used some of the 90s grunge collection from Savannah Lacquer, which have some of the best names ever, and as someone who grew up during the 90s, these colors really captured that vibe for me. I also used the Zombie Love No. 2 plate from Uber Chic. I have been waiting for this for a while because their first zombie plate is one of my all-time favorites. We get more fun Walking Dead themed images, but also some cutesy zombies. I can't believe that's even a thing, but apparently it is, like this layering image that you stamp each piece one at a time, and then you kill him with a knife. He may be cute, but I will definitely stab a bitch in the eyes. I also threw in some Holo Flakies just to be safe because I heard Holo is actually zombie repellent. For my base coat, I used the Live Love Polish Nourishing Ridge Filler, and I mentioned in my previous video that I really like this base coat because I feel like it does give the nail a nice, even, smooth canvas to work on. And also, here is the mani that I wore for, it was almost 8 days, and I'm not sure if it was the base coat, the polish, and the top coat, which was also from Live Love Polish, if this was just a really great combo, or if this base coat is just giving me really great wear time with no chips. As you can see, it's definitely grown out towards my cuticles, but it wore beautifully. I don't know, gonna have to experiment some more. On my pinky nail, I went with Savannah Lacquer Combat Boots, which is a gunmetal black with micro hollow shimmer, and the hollow shimmer on the nail ends up being very subtle, but you do see it in the different lighting that I was in. It's not like very visible in dark lighting, but when there's some light on it, you can definitely see it. And the first coat was a little bit sheer, but it did go on nicely, so I just did a little bit of a thicker second coat and I reached full opacity. And on my ring nail, I went with Birkenstocks, which I don't know how to describe this color. It's almost like a bronzy green gold. I feel like it shows mostly green on the nail and it has like a gold flake shimmer to it. And there is a hollow in this. It's not really showing up on camera here, but in person you can see it. It's a little more subtle on the nail than it is in the bottle, but I thought this was such a cool and interesting color. And it had a nice formula. It was, you could definitely see nail line on the first coat, but with the second coat I reached full opacity and it wasn't flooding my cuticles or anything. I think this one's really pretty. And on my middle and index nail, I went with Frayed Jeans, which is a turquoise leaning blue, and it has like an aqua green shimmer to it and then some micro hollow shimmer as well. And this one had a good formula. It was a little more opaque on the first coat than the previous two colors, and this polish line definitely has almost like a gel consistency, not gel polish, but that's always what this type of formula reminds me of. It's just kind of like a gel. Use your words, Angel. Then I did a little cleanup with my No. 6 brush from Twinkle Tea and 100% acetone, and someone doesn't know how to file their nails because look at how crooked my middle nail is filed. I hate filing my nails. I really, really hate it. And then I decided to add some zombie repellent, aka Holo Flakies. That's an actual scientific fact if you didn't know. These are Stardust Holo Flakies from Twinkle Tea. I did a video on how to use these, like a full coverage mani look. I will link that video down below. These are amazing. I'm so in love with them. To get the flakies to stick to my now dry nail polish, I went in with some clear polish. This is just from Wet n Wild. It's not top coat, it is clear polish. This way it will take a little longer to dry than quick dry top coat. And then just using the little flat nail art brush, I could pick up some of the Holo Flakies and apply them to my wet clear polish. And I just wanted them to be kind of sparse. Like I didn't want them to completely take over the nail, so I put them a little heavier towards the cuticle and then just kind of drag them down towards the free edge. And I love these, but I didn't want them to completely take over because they definitely have the tendency to want to steal the show. I mean, look at them. They're stealing the show right now. You're staring at them. Now in the video where I use these as a full coverage Holo Flaky mani, I combined them with gel polish because the gel polish top coat will not dull the holo finish. Now this time I'm just going to use a regular nail polish top coat, and you're going to see it's going to dull the finish a little bit, but Most people probably wouldn't even notice it, but I mean, I do because I'm literally staring at my nails with a magnifying glass. But just be warned, regular polish will dull it just a little bit. And since I'm stamping and going to be probably making a mess, I'm using some liquid latex. This is a lace liquid latex from Twinkle Tea. And for my white stamping polish, I went with Glow Up from Twinkle Tea, and this has become my favorite white stamping polish because it is so opaque. And look at this little zombie. Oh my goodness. I feel really weird calling them zombies because I'm a Walking Dead fan. Like, I know I should be calling them walkers, but if you don't watch the show, like, you're probably like, what are you even talking about? So I call them zombies most of the time. And my next stamping polish color is No Filter, a neon green, because this polish combo was not weird enough apparently, so I had to throw some green neon in there. Yes, I know, this is a weird polish combo, but I don't know, I feel like it kind of works for a zombie mani. Whatever. So then I went with this little crosshairs stamp because this mani ended up being Daryl themed, and if you know the show, Daryl's weapon of choice is a crossbow, so he is definitely aiming at this stupid little walker zombie right here. He's trying to murder us. So for the next nail, the ring nail, I wanted to use these angel wings because Daryl wears a leather vest where he has like this embroidered angel wings on the back. So my plan was, get ready, my plan, it doesn't work. I wanted to put the right wing on my ring nail and then the left wing on my middle nail, so they kind of like, you know, it spanned both of the nails. And unfortunately, I put the wing the wrong way on my ring nail. I don't know what I was doing. I was not drunk, I swear. So I had to just go with it, and I ended up having to put the other wing that I took off with the tape back onto the other side of the nail so that the design worked. Still mad at myself. In the end, I think it looks kind of cute, but it was not what I wanted, and I'm pouting. And then on top of the angel wings, I wanted to layer the most adorable crossbow ever. If crossbows can be adorable, I think this one is. And I don't know, this green polish wasn't very opaque over these colors. It's weird because I've used it over black and it was very opaque. Strange. So what I ended up doing is just picking up another stamp and then layering over it twice so that it would be a little bit more opaque. And I think it works for the most part. It's kind of more opaque. And then for my middle nail, I went with the phrase, if Daryl dies, we riot. I can't remember what season I started hearing this. I think I heard it on Talking Dead for the first time, which is the Walking Dead after show where they talk about the Talking Dead. This is, if you're not a Walking Dead fan and you're watching this, this is hilarious because you probably think I'm insane. And I decided to do a little bit more double stamping because I thought the text would kind of look cool, like almost with a drop shadow, like the white would be the drop shadow with the green on top of it. Makes sense, and I didn't really stamp it perfectly. I mean, it's legible, you can see what it says, but it's not stamped perfectly. And then above, if Daryl dies, we riot, I put a little Colt Python, which is Rick Grimes' gun. Now, you may be asking why you know the name of his gun. It's because one Halloween I dressed up as Rick Grimes and I wanted to buy little toy versions of his gun. And then for my index nail, I wanted to try out one of the double image stamps, double layer stamps, and you're supposed to use two different colors for, you know, one for each of the stamps so that it looks a little more, you know, dimensional. But since the neon green wasn't super opaque on the other nails, I decided to stamp both images with white first, and then I stamped the green over it a second time so that it would show up, and I think it looks pretty cool. Again, it's not stamped perfectly. I really don't do these layering images that often, so I don't have a lot of practice with them, but you can tell it's a hand, right? I mean, it's a hand. And this is what I did on my thumbnail. I used, it was like a little pattern of the crosshair and the mini crossbows. This is even smaller than the crossbow I called the most adorable crossbow ever. So correction, these are the most adorable crossbows ever. Then after making sure the stamping polish was 100% dry to avoid smearing, I went with Super Chic Lacquer's Liquid Macro Top Coat. And on my thumbnail, I actually went with the new quick dry top coat from Live Love Polish, and it ended up smearing a little bit, and I know that that polish was 100% dry, so I don't know if it was the polish that smeared it or I just applied it like an asshole, so I will have to test that out. So that completes my Walking Dead 90s grunge holographic zombie Manny. Now this is definitely one of the more interesting color-wise and subject-wise Manny's that I've done. Don't get me wrong, I've worn zombie nails many times. My first YouTube tutorial is actually a zombie Manny. I will link it below. Just be prepared to hear me say and just be awkward and not really myself. So go ahead, it's funny. And I am really excited to try out some of the other Savannah lacquer colors from the 90s grunge collection. There's a really pretty sort of pink fuchsia with like some blue shimmer to it and like a taupey red bronze duochrome that I cannot even describe what it is. So definitely some really pretty colors if you guys want to check them out. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at twy_star. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.